Hello everyone. So today's video is about changing calibers on the Pro 6000 Lee progressive press. So I decided I wanted to do this because I think one of the more common questions when getting a new press, especially if you're relatively, I don't know if I'm a beginner anymore, but I don't have as much experience as maybe some other people. One of the questions that's often asked is, well, how involved is it to change calibers? And that's a question that I asked before I bought the Pro 6000. The answer I got was, well, it's pretty easy because it has these, the breech lock adapters, and all you have to do is, take one set of dies out, and since they're locked into the adapters, you can just put another set in and it's already set, and there you go. So the answer was, it's easy. It's really fast and easy. And in some respects, they were right. That part of it. there's other parts of it other than the dies, and that's kind of what I'm going to do today. So today what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to change calibers from it's right now it's set for 44 Magnum, and I want to reload some 38 Special. So that's a pretty big caliber change right there. Now if I were changing from, say, 357 Magnum to 38 Special, that would be a lot less involved. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to remove the dies first. So I should have pointed out all the different things I have on my table, but I guess that doesn't matter so much. I'll point them out as I use them. So I'm going to start with my spline wrench here, and that'll just make it a little easier to take these. Some of them might turn out by my finger. Yeah, there we go. Bullet sear die came right out with just my fingers. Let's see, will this one come out? This is the I have to take out this adapter right here. There's no die in it, but I'm going to take it out anyway because that's the only way you can remove the index rod. And that's going to be the next thing I have to do to change calibers. So I have to take out the index rod because I have to change shell plates. So I'm going to take this out, so put it aside. The next step is going to be to remove the index rod, which should come right out. Oh, well, you have to have, you can't have, okay, there we go. You have to have this positioned right. There we go. I guess we'll have it down. All right, so I'm taking out the index rod. And the reason why I'm taking out the index rod, if I haven't said it already, is because I need to change shell plates. All right, so I'm going to remove the case ejector. Everything's always just a little tricky. There, all right. Took that out, put that aside because we'll use that again. So the next step is going to be to remove the shell plate, and I'm going to use the included Allen wrench, and I'm going to turn clockwise to loosen. There we go. So it takes a little bit of turning, and you finally get the old shell plate out. Put that aside, completely out of the way, because I'm not going to need that anymore. All right, and so I tell you, while I'm here, I'm going to take a little bit of time to clean out the powder that has fallen underneath that shell plate. Also going to push these case retainers just a little out so it doesn't prevent me putting that shell holder back in. Okay, anyway, that's good enough for now. All right, so now I have the shell holder that I'm going to need for 38 Special, and I'm going to pull that up a little bit, and I'm going to spin it on clockwise. I'm going to spin it clockwise. Need 3 hands for this. They want you to keep it up 3/4 of the way. All right. Put my finger on the that screw in the middle. All right, that's about as tight as I can get it with my fingers. So the next step is to use the Allen wrench and tighten it counterclockwise. Whoop! I need to have it down. So it doesn't turn while I'm trying to tighten this. And I'm going to make, you know, the directions say lightly tighten this, but I'm going to tighten it down pretty hard. And the reason why is because I've read that other problems have developed for people by not having the shell plate really tightened down. So I think I'm just going to make it tight as opposed to light. And that's pretty tight. And I don't know that I need this anymore, so I'm going to put that away. Okay, and then, so you also need the small case retainer for 38 Special. And that goes right between the shell plate and the case retainers. And of course there's like a groove here where it'll fit right in. So notch side up. And that should just drop in. So as long as you put it in the right location, you just have to kind of press this in, make sure it fits all around. There we go. I think I got it now. All right, that should be correct. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now I can put the case ejector back on here. And there's a little hole to put one end in, and then of course that just pops around there. There we go. That part is one of the easier parts, one of the easier things to do. And then I have to get the indexing rod back in. There we go. And then I'm going to put the this bushing back in, and that'll lock it in place. Get that in there just right. Come on. And, there we go. All right, now if hopefully it indexes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to actually run a case through there. So I brought a 38 Special case all the way up. Drop a case right here. Push it in. Oh, I'm going to get my case retainers back in place. And as I go through, the case will push the case retainers into the place where it needs to be. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that part's done. So the next step is going to be to adjust the case feeder. All right, and because the 44 Magnum required the large holes, so 38 Special requires the small hole. So you have to actually completely remove this assembly here, turn it around so it's set for the small cases. And it's a little bit clunky to do this. But yeah, this whole thing has to come off. So it's just a little more than change the dies. That's all you got to do, right? All these bolts have, all the nuts have to come off. So I need to be able to take the I need to put it in a different location. So if someone knows something I don't about this part, I'm willing to hear it. Okay. And then I have to take the screw here. I gotta make sure I can get it out. Put it on the other side. And I have to put this small plug in. Not sure. The small plug. But where? That goes. There's only one place for it. So. Okay, and now we're going to put that back on. So let's get this nut back on there. Okay. Make that kind of tight. Sure, for some reason I'm going to have to loosen that again. Always happens, right? So when you put this in, you want to make sure that the whole unit is positioned in such a way that when you operate the lever, the press, that the case feeder is not in the way, is not blocking the press from, as you can see, I can't move it. And again, I don't know if you can see that in the video, but so I've made this mistake a few times where I've just had this positioned incorrectly, and I've had to loosen everything back up and turn it a little bit, and now it goes all the way up. So I'm going to try not to make that mistake. So before I actually set this up, I'm going to put one of the nuts on here. Not quite sure how far I need to put it because that needs to be adjusted. Okay, and again, I'm making sure that this is out of the way. The whole piece is out of the way. All right. So the next thing I need to do is adjust this so that the bottom of the case feed plate is about a penny's distance to the case. So I am going to drop a case in, and I'm going to carefully put a penny right on top of the case, and then I'm going to adjust the height of the case feed plate so that it's just lightly resting on that penny. Just a tad awkward. All right. Then I'm going to tighten it. And I'm going to make sure that everything's out of the way so it'll operate like I mentioned earlier. All right. I'm going to tighten this. Anyway, everything moves properly. Nothing's in the way of anything. And I think I'm good with that. Okay, so I'm not going to put all this, I don't need to put all this on yet, because we are not finished. All right, the next part is to deal with the primers. Okay, so I already have my small pistol primers in one of these. I had a separate one of these. I have several of these. That helps a little bit. Of course, it's set on lock right now, so it's not going to fall everywhere. There we go. All right, and then what you need, so before, for the 44 Magnum, I had the large primer guide, but you need the small primer guide for this to work. So I'm going to take the old one out, large primer guide. I'm going to put that back in the little bag it came in. Get that completely out of the way. Small primer guide, and the S is going to be facing down. So, where did my part? Oh, here it is. So, yeah, like this. Put the slider back in. I'm going to call it a slider. I'm not even going to take the time to look that up. If I were naming it, I would call it the primer slider. That's what I'm calling it. And I'm going to insert the small primer guide, which is what it's called. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to reset the spring for that, which is another thing I've found difficult to do, is taking them off. Put them on. There we go. All right, I'm going to test this again. Okay. Yeah, my powder drop needs to be. All right, that seems to be working correct. All right. What else is there to do? We haven't done anything with the dies yet. We have all that, so think about it. That person told me, they said to me, yeah, it's really quick because the dies are in the bushing, you just take the old ones out, put them in. So I've taken all this time, and I've yet to put the new dies in. And they're right. I mean, putting the new dies in is kind of a piece of cake. It's everything else that takes a while. All right, what do I have here? So I have the resizer, and get that in station 1. And I really should be paying attention to where these screws are. Okay, then I'm going to put the expander in. Put the expander in, but I'm going to make sure the screw is in an appropriate place. All right, and it is, and that's in there tight. Okay, next I'm going to put the bullet seater in. Which one is that? I think I did blue for that one. Yeah, here's the bullet seater. And that's set, of course, so let me make sure the screw is going to be in the right place. There we go. Okay. Factory crimp die. All right, I'm not going to make the mistake I made when I put the other one on. All right, there we go. Perfect. There we go. Dies are in. Pretty simple, right? That's not a difficult part of this. And I am going to put my powder measure on here, which, if I recall, I think this is set for 357 Magnum, but you know, that's the way that goes. Of course, so part of the process, of course, is going to be remeasuring the powder, which I'm not going to do on camera, because that's not really, I don't really consider that a part. I don't think that's a question that people have. How long does it take you to change to a new powder? I'm just going to let that part go. So now that's on there. What else? So the other, let's see, what else do I have to do now? I think I'm kind of finished here. I'll go ahead and put this back on. Get in there. All right, I think I got that. I'm just going to go ahead and get a few 38 specials. I'm going to put that in that, put it in the right one. So I'm just going to run a test here of, I guess I could do, well, I lost count at this point. Hopefully that's 6. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of a dry run here. So here we go. I'm definitely hoping that when I get to the last one, it doesn't fall. And I am not actually going to do anything with these. I'm just running them through. So I'm not exactly doing a full stroke here. Well, you know what? I missed one, didn't it? It's 2. What is happening? Okay. So what's happening here is that in my efforts to make sure that the case feed plate didn't hit the tool head, I've moved it over a little too far. So as I said earlier, guess what? I got to loosen that screw to get this in the right place. That's not a big deal. That is all I have to do. All right, so there we go with that. That's why you have to do tests. Oh, it didn't. Oh, one more in there. Didn't fall. Cool. So anyway, I think I've done everything I need to show you as far as a caliber change goes. I need to, had a little incident here with my primers while I was running cases through, and I just have to fix that up. And there's just little things that happen, but I think I've accomplished the main steps. So I had to take out the old dies, had to take out the indexing rod, I had to change shell plates, I had to put the new shell plate on, I had to readjust the orientation of the case feeder. I had to adjust that to get that just right. I had to change the primer guide. Of course, put the new dies on here. And the more you do it, the easier it'll get, you know. The other thing, so like I said, I'm not showing you the powder check. I'm not showing you that because that's a whole separate video. Doesn't really have anything to do with the Pro 6000 specifically, because you can use that on anything. I also have a bullet feed, the new inline bullet feed that I just got, and I'm not doing that in this video either, primarily because I've never done it before, and also again, it's not a standard thing. It didn't come with it, so I'm not going to include that in the caliber change here. But anyway, I think pretty much everything works right, and that's how you do it. So I hope this helped you out, and thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.